In Babylon of the 8th century, the planet Mars became a great and feared god, to whom many prayers were composed, and hymns and invocation were sung, and magic formulas were whispered. Such formulas are referred to as magic words, with raising the hand to the planet Nergal, Mars. These prayers were addressed directly to the planet Mars. Like the Greek Ares, Nergal is called King of Battle, who brings the defeat, who brings the victory. Nergal could not be regarded as favoring the people of the double streams. On a most fateful night, he inflicted a defeat on Sennacherib. Shine of horror, God Nergal, Prince of Battle, thy face is glare, thy mouth is fire. Raging flame god, God Nergal, thou art anguish and terror, great sword god. Lord, who wanderest in the night, horrible raging flame god, whose storming is a storm flood. In one of its great conjunctions, Mars' atmosphere was stretched so that it appeared like a sword. Often before and later too, celestial prodigies assumed the shape of swords. Thus, in the days of David, a comet appeared in the form of a human being between the earth and the heaven, having a drawn sword in his hand, stretched out over Jerusalem. The Roman god Mars was pictured with a sword. He became the god of war. The Chaldean Nergal is called sword god. Of this sword Isaiah spoke when he predicted the repetition of the catastrophe, a stream of brimstone, flame, storm, and reeling of the sky. Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword not of a mean man, shall devour him, and his princes shall be afraid of the instant, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. I was going to say blood. And the ancients classified the comets according to their appearance. In old astrological texts, as in the book of prophecies of Daniel, comets that took the form of a sword were originally related to the planet Mars. Besides the sword-like appearance of the atmosphere of Mars, elongated on its approach to the Earth, there was also another reason to make of the planet Mars the god of war. A bellicose or martial character was ascribed to the planet because of the great excitement it caused. The excitement that brought anxiety to peoples, that brought migrations and to wars. Since early times, celestial prodigies have been regarded as portents that forecast great commotions and great wars. We're still in the age of Mars, still in the age of wars. A planet that collided with other planets in the sky and rushed against the Earth as if with a fire sword became the god of battle, wresting this title from the hands of Athena Ishtar. The gods of heaven put themselves in war against thee, the hymns to the planet Nergal say, and this is the war. Yeah, it's got to mean something. It really does. We're singing hymns to it. That was recounted in the Iliad. Nergal was named Koriduradu, the great warrior. He waged war against gods and the earth. The most frequent ideogram for Nergal in Semitic cuneiform is read Namsaru, which means sword. Planet Mars, in the Babylonian inscriptions of the 7th century, was called the most violent among the gods. Herodotus said that the Scythians worshipped Ares, Mars, and that a scimitar of iron was their image of him. To him, they made human sacrifices and poured the blood on the scimitar. Silenus wrote of the people of Scythia, the god of this people is Mars. Instead of images, they worship swords. War in heaven among the colliding planets. War on earth among the nations. wandering in unrest. As above, so below. A planet running toward the earth with an outstretched flaming sword, attacking land and sea. Participating. Oh yeah, well, that was the, Axis Monday. In some cases, I guess, took it as a sword. In other cases, it was a mountain. Interesting, because it was probably always changing. An outstretched flaming sword attacking land and sea. Participating in the wars among the nations. All these made Mars the god of war. Yeah, wouldn't it be terrible, you have your village wiped out of most of the people, and some other race army comes in to make matters worse and just rape the rest of you. That's how it was. Brutal. The sword of God of battle was not like the sword of a mighty man. It was not thrust into the belly, and yet it caused sickness and death. The god of war scattered pestilence. In a prayer to the planet Mars, Nergal, it is said, radiant abode that beams over the land, who is thy equal? When thou ridest in the battle, when thou throwest down, who can escape thy look? Who can run away from thy storming? Thy word is a mighty catch-net, stretched over sky and earth. His sword makes human beings sick. It enfeebles them. His word, when he makes his way above, makes the country sick. The outbreak of pestilence that appears to have accompanied the first contact with the planet Mars was repeated on each subsequent contact. Amos uttered these words. I have smitten you with blasting and mildew. I have sent among you the pestilence after the manner of Egypt. The planet Nergal was regarded by the Babylonians as the god of war and pestilence. Thus, too, did Greeks regard the planet Ares, the Romans the planet Mars. End of subject. Fenris Wolf. In the Babylon astrological text, it is said that a star takes the shape of diverse animals: lion, jackal, dog, pig, fish. This, in our opinion, explains the worship of animals by ancient peoples, notably by the Egyptians. The planet Mars, its atmosphere distorted by its approaches to other celestial bodies, Venus, Earth, Moon, took on different shapes. The Mexicans narrated that Huitzilopochtli, the bellicose destroyer of cities, took the form of various birds and beasts. On one occasion, Mars very characteristically resembled a wolf or a jackal. In Babylonia, Mars had 7 names. Jackal was one of them. Also, the god with the head of a jackal or wolf in the Egyptian pantheon was apparently Mars. Of him it is said that he is a prowling wolf circling this land. In the Chinese chart of Suchao, in which it is related, on the authority of more ancient sources, that once Venus suddenly ran into the wolf star. Wolf star apparently means Mars. Wolf, or Lupus Martius, was the animal symbol for Mars of the Roman religion. It gave rise to the legend about Romulus, son of Mars, who was fed by a she-wolf. According to the tradition, the conception of Romulus took place during a prolonged eclipse. The Slavic Vukadlak, who followed the clouds and devoured the sun or moon, had the shape of a wolf. The North Germanic tribes, too, spoke of the wolf skull, Skoll, that pursued the sun in the Edda. The planetary god that darkened the sun is called Fenris Wolf, whence comes the sun to the smooth sky back, when Fenris has swallowed it forth. The battle of Mars and Venus is presented in the Icelandic epos as a fight between the Fenris wolf and the serpent Midgard, the bright snake gaping in the heaven above, and the foaming wolf battle in the sky. Storms come in summer, then comes the day, and dark grows the sun. In a great upheaval, the heaven is cloven. In anger smites the warden of earth. Forth from their homes must all men flee. The sun turns black, earth sinks in the sea. The hot stars drown from the heaven. Our world, fierce grows the stream, till fire high above heaven itself. The stormer of walls, following the upheavals in which, in the words of the Babylonians, Mars Nergal moved the earth off its hinges, and in the words of Isaiah, the earth moved exceedingly and was removed out of her place. Mighty and repeated earthquakes devastated whole countries, destroyed cities, shattered the walls of strongholds. Bloodstained stormer of walls is the ever-repeated epithet of Ares in Homer. Hesiod too calls Ares sacker of towns. Behold, said Amos, the Lord commandeth, and he will smite the great house with breaches into pieces. Then came the commotion of the days of Uzziah, and of the days of Ahaz, and of the days of Hezekiah, when the bricks are fallen down, Isaiah 9:10. And only a very small remnant of people remain, Isaiah 1:9. Those were days of trouble, and of treading down, and of perplexity by the Lord God of hosts, and breaking down the walls, Isaiah 22:5. Recurrent displacement of the terrestrial globe, torsion of the lithosphere, and migration of the inner parts of the globe must have caused a succession of earthquakes over a prolonged period. But in comparison with the great catastrophes when heaven reeled, the local earthquakes received only slight attention. In reports of the astrologers of Nineveh and Babylon, earthquakes are often mentioned in just a single line, as in the following message. Last night there was an earthquake. The frequent trembling of the earth became a source of omens for magicians, which were reduced to formulas. When the earthquakes in a month of Shavat, or when the earthquakes in the month of Nisan, then one or another event will take place, as in the following sentence. The observation could be basically correct. When the earth quakes, through the whole day, there will be a destruction of the land. When it quakes continuously, there will be an invasion of the enemy.